Hello dear students, I am MP Rupashri working as Assistant Professor of Physics at DRM Science College, Davangere. Today in this video lecture on the main topic electromagnetism, I will explain you the construction and theory of the instrument Helmholtz tangent galvanometer. Dear students, look at the instrument Helmholtz tangent galvanometer on the right side of this page. It consists of two parallel coaxial coils C1 and C2 having the same radius r and the same number of turns n. The distance between the two coils is equal to the radius r of each coil. These coils are connected in series, hence the current through them is in the same direction. Compass box is placed at a point P midway between the coils. The magnetic field along the common axis is almost uniform midway between the two coils. Now look at the graph which shows the variation of the magnetic fields B1 and B2 of the two coils with distance along the axis. In the graph, if you observe the region PQ midway between the two pair of the coils, the magnetic field B1 due to coil C1 is decreasing linearly with X, while the magnetic field B2 due to other coil C2 is increasing linearly with X at the same rate. B1 and B2 add up to produce a resultant magnetic field which is almost uniform over a distance QR in the region between the pair of coils. Now let me explain the theory of Helmholtz tangent galvanometer. Let R be the radius of the coil and N be the number of turns of the coil, and a current I flows through the coil. Then the equation for the magnetic field B along the axis of a circular coil at a distance x from the center of the coil is given by B is equal to mu naught Ni r square divided by 2 into r square plus x square whole to the power of 3 by 2. In this expression, mu naught, N, I and R are constants. If rate of variation of the magnetic field due to a coil at any point should be constant, then we say it as dB by dx is equal to constant. If dB by dx has to be constant, then the derivative of dB by dx, that is d square b by dx square, must be equal to 0. This is taken as equation 2. By differentiating the above equation 1, that is B is equal to mu naught Ni r square divided by 2 into r square plus x square whole to the power of 3 by 2, we can write it as dB by dx is equal to constant term is taken outside here, that is mu naught Ni r square divided by 2 and d by dx of r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 3 by 2. This is taken as equation 3. Here r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 3 by 2 is obtained by taking the term r square plus x square whole to the power of 3 by 2 to the numerator. Now consider the right hand side of the equation 3. Here you have to differentiate the term r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 3 by 2. Now differentiating this term, in the next step we can write dB by dx is equal to mu naught Ni r square by 2. Then the differentiation term of r square plus x square will be obtained as minus 3 by 2 into r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 5 by 2 into 2x. Here 2 and 2 will be cancelled. In the next step we can write it as minus 3 mu naught Ni r square by 2 into r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 5 by 2 into x. Again we have to differentiate this equation to obtain d square b by dx square. Now d square b by dx square will be equal to minus 3 mu naught ni r square by 2, which is the constant term, into d by dx of r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 5 by 2 into x. For this equation, here we have to apply product rule and differentiate. Now the product rule will be given by d by dx of first term into second term is equal to first term into d by dx of second term plus second term into d by dx of the first term. Then let us apply the product rule and differentiate. Then d square b by dx square will be obtained as, first take the common factor outside, that is the constant term, minus 3 mu naught ni r square by 2 into, we are applying the product rule here. So we are writing the first term as it is, that is r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 5 by 2 into d by dx of x, which will be equal to 1. Hence we have the first term r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 5 by 2 here, plus we are writing the second term x into differentiating the first term now, that is minus 5 by 2 into r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 7 by 2 into 2x. In the next step, we can write this as d square b by dx square is equal to minus 3 mu naught ni r square by 2 into r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 5 by 2, and simplifying the second term we can write it as minus 5x square into r square plus x square into whole to the power of minus 7 by 2, as the 2 and 2 in the second term cancels each other. Now we can write r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 5 by 2 as r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 7 by 2 into r square plus x square. Hence here in the next step we can write d square b by dx square as minus 3 mu naught ni r square by 2 into common factor we have taken here, that is x square plus r square whole to the power of minus 7 by 2 into r square plus x square term we have written after taking the common factor, and minus 5x square, that is by taking the common factor of the second term as r square plus x square whole to the power of minus 7 by 2 here, the remaining term here is minus 5x square. Hence we have obtained the equation 5. The condition for uniform magnetic field along the axis is d square b by dx square is equal to 0. This condition has to be applied in the equation 5. When we observe this, it is clear that this d square b by dx square is equal to 0 is possible only when the term r square plus x square minus 5x square is equal to 0. Then simplifying this, we get it as r square is equal to 4x square or x is equal to plus or minus r by 2. This equation is known by 6. Hence at a distance r by 2 on either side of the coil, the rate of change of field becomes constant. This is the principle of HTG. Here you can see in the graph from the center where the compass box is situated, which is taken as 0 distance, from there to the either of the coil x is equal to r by 2, and the resultant field is uniform almost in between the two coils from Q to R. Now let us find the magnetic field at the middle point between the two coils. For this, we have to put the condition as x is equal to r by 2, and another one is replacing the number of turns n by 2n, as here there are two coils. Hence the magnetic field due to one coil is given by B is equal to mu naught Ni R square whole divided by 2 into R square plus X square whole to the power of 3 by 2. In this equation, we are replacing N by 2N and X square by R square by 4. In the next step, we have the equation for the magnetic field due to two coils as B is equal to mu naught Ni R square divided by R square plus R square by 4 whole to the power of 3 by 2. Now we are rearranging the terms and finally we arrive at B is equal to 8 divided by square root of 125 into mu naught Ni divided by R. We can also write the same equation as B is equal to 8 divided by 5 root 5 into mu naught Ni divided by R, or we can also pronounce this as the magnetic field at the middle point between the two coils is given by B is equal to 8 mu naught Ni whole divided by 5 root 5 into R. This equation is denoted by number 7. The simplification I have done in the right side. If you want, you can go through this. In order to determine the unknown current I passing through the coils, the planes of the coils are made to lie in the magnetic meridian. When the planes of the coils are set in the magnetic meridian, by using the tangent law, B is equal to BH tan theta, where BH is the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field and theta be the deflection of the magnetic needle. Now we are equating the equation 7, that is the equation for the magnetic field, with the tangent law equation, that is equation 8. Then combining these two, we can write B is equal to 8 mu naught Ni divided by 5 root 5 R is equal to BH tan theta. Or by equating this for current I, we can write I as 5 root 5 R into BH divided by 8 mu naught N into tan theta. Here we can observe that here is a term 5 root 5 or BH divided by 8 mu naught N. This term is equal to K, which is called as reduction factor of HTG or Helmholtz tangent galvanometer. Now we can write I is equal to K tan theta, where K is the reduction factor and given by K is equal to 5 root 5 or BH divided by 8 mu naught N. Now to define the reduction factor of the Helmholtz tangent galvanometer, we put the condition theta is equal to 45. Then tan theta is equal to 1. Therefore we can write I is equal to K here. Then we can define the reduction factor of HTG as equal to current required to be passed through the coils to produce a deflection of 45 degree. Finally, we have obtained the equation for the current as I is equal to K tan theta, or we can write the same as I is proportional to tan theta. Hence, current through the galvanometer is directly proportional to the tangent of the angle of the deflection. Hence, this is the theory of the Helmholtz tangent galvanometer. Dear students, in this explanation of construction of the Helmholtz tangent galvanometer and then theory, we started with explaining the construction and then we started the theory and finally we arrived at I is proportional to tan theta. In between, we have come across many mathematical equations which you will become perfect only after going through the equations again and again and understanding the concept and writing them. Dear students, after going through this video lecture, I hope you are able to understand the construction and theory of Helmholtz tangent galvanometer. Wish you all the best. Thank you.